All right, welcome to Life Extension Live. I'm Dr. Mike, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Krista Gossard.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello, everyone out there.
Thank you for joining us today. What a great show. We're talking about energy, specifically some energy nutrients, so important to today's Superwoman.
Yes, and I'm saying hi to everyone. If you are on, send us a shout out.
Yeah, and ask questions, do what you want. Now, Dr. Crystal, look at so they got the B-roll going. That's what we call it.
I know.
Now, this is you. I'm literally sitting next to a real live Superwoman.
You're making me feel shy now, Dr. Mike.
Think about what you. Oh, look at that. See. When we were rehearsing this, she saw that and said she wanted another kid.
I know. Hopefully, my husband. Let's tell the world before we tell the husband, right?
So again, Dr. Crystal is a doctor. She's a mom. She's a wife. You're a daughter. I mean, you work full time.
Active in the community. Your church, everything. I mean, I know that it's mind-boggling, all that you do, and we recognize that so many women like you are doing the same thing. And so we want to keep you going because what you're doing is so important to all of us, right? And so we're going to talk about things you can do to boost your energy. On today's show, here's what we're going to cover, right? We're going to talk about CoQ10, so important if you're a superwoman. B vitamins to help release the energy from food, right? And then lastly, cool extract from mango leaf for mental fatigue. Right? That's right, and we have some viewers on. Thank you, MJ. Hello.
Hey, MJ.
Thank you under Nancy. And
Nancy?
Yes, Nancy. Thank you for joining.
Hi, Nancy.
Post your questions in the chat. We'll be answering them live.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so let's get into this. We're going to start with topic number 1, which is CoQ10. I've said this millions of times. I consider CoQ10 a foundational nutrient for everyone, but so important for the superwoman. Just like Dr. Crystal, you're doing so much. Kids, work. CoQ10 write this down. CoQ10 is a foundational energy nutrient for you. Tell us why it's so important.
Inside of all of your cells are mitochondria. We've talked about mitochondria. They are the powerhouse of your cell, and CoQ10 is needed for that powerhouse. That engine is what we call it. It's needed for that engine to work and to function.
Yeah, and we know over time, if generally speaking, everybody's CoQ10 levels kind of drop. We know there's actually good data showing that mitochondrial levels drop over time, and so you're losing the powerhouses a little bit. You don't have quite enough CoQ10 on board, yet you're trying to do a lot. And you need energy for that, and so please add CoQ10 as a daily supplement, right?
Right. It's helping you to make energy at the cellular level, and so I think CoQ10 is important because it's not the superficial energy, Dr. Mike.
That's not what we're talking. Well, there's nothing wrong with a little caffeine. She likes her coffee. She likes her coffee. I do too. I do my espresso shots.
Oh yes, in the morning.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to overdo that. The stimulants like caffeine are going to eventually crash you, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's better to kind of build that energy up from the inside out, and that's what CoQ10 does.
It's the pure energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's the pure energy. There was a study, right? 200 milligrams a day. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I thought about CoQ10 for the active woman, the woman that is, working, taking care of the kids, and still somehow finds time to exercise a little bit.
Or do laundry. Ironing. That's crazy.
I like ironing.
Oh, jeez, I know.
But this, the study
today.
that we're highlighting is a study published in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition. And what's nice about this study is really how the researchers, what they did in the study. So they gave the participants CoQ10, they tested the participants' CoQ10 levels, and they did a muscle biopsy.
Whoa.
To identify the CoQ10
that's hardcore
at the tissue level. And I'll tell you what the researchers found with 200 milligrams of CoQ10 for 14 days.
It increased the length of time the participants could exercise before reaching exhaustion. So they were able to exercise longer. Blood levels increased.
Simple nutrient.
Cellular levels increased.
Yeah. Simple, foundational, pure energy nutrient. If you're not taking it, we highly suggest it. There might be some foods, because we always talk about food first, and that's important, but not really with CoQ10.
Yeah, and well, that's a common question that we get. That's one of our FAQs we're going to talk about.
We actually,
I think it's
well, these questions actually came from Google. Like these are questions that you're asking about energy and CoQ10. So we thought we would go over these top. I think we have like top four
questions.
So you're going to see them come up on the bottom of the screen. This is the stuff you guys are asking, right? Number one, how much CoQ10 should I take daily for energy? What do you think?
Yes. Oh, and then we have another question. We'll answer the question on the screen, and then we have one from MJ that we have to make sure we include. CoQ10 for energy, about 100 milligrams is a good starting point. Upwards of 400 milligrams. And it really all depends on really your age. When you're older, you may need a little bit more CoQ10.
I did. When I went from 40s to 50s, I went from 100 to 200.
Yes, if you are active exercising, you may want to go up to 200-300 milligrams. But the best way to know how much CoQ10 you should be taking is through lab testing.
Absolutely, yeah. People ask a lot. Again, there's the question, how much should I take, right? You hear it for vitamin D, you hear it for CoQ10, you even hear it for fish oil.
Yes.
And the omegas. At the end of the day, the best way to know is what's in your blood. What level do you have? And there is CoQ10 blood testing. Okay, that was question number one. Now you got one. You got one from online, right? MJ?
We have one from MJ. MJ asked, what should we take it with and when is the best time to take it? CoQ10.
Yeah.
With food.
With food.
CoQ10 is a lipid-soluble nutrient, meaning it is going to be absorbed better with food, maybe, and I would say a meal that has some fat.
A little fat, yeah.
Like
again,
nut butter. If you have
good.
toast with almond butter on it, that's enough as well. If you have an egg in the morning, the fat from that yolk.
I take it with my lunch. You've seen my lunches, right? I mean, it's just I eat a pretty kind of boring lunch, to be honest with you. You've seen, but yeah, so I just take it at lunch. Now, because I have noticed later in the evening, if I do it with dinner, sometimes I do feel a little energy from it. Yes. And I don't want that. I want to be able to sleep. So for me, I think either breakfast or lunch.
Yes, earlier in the day, if you kind of get that surge of energy, may be a sign that you really need it.
Yeah, no, we talked about that. If you take CoQ10 and you really get revved up from it, that means your blood level is probably pretty low.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. Over time, as you build up your blood level, though, you won't feel as energized outwardly from CoQ10, but you keep taking it because we're building those CoQ10 level stores in your cells. It's running the energy in the mitochondria. So don't stop taking the CoQ10, right?
Yes.
Question number 2. Here we go. Let's see. You may. Oh, this is what we just answered. This didn't even know.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, there it is. What foods contain CoQ10? What's your thoughts there?
Organ meats, fatty foods, because remember it's lipid soluble, so it's a fatty type of nutrient. So you'll find it in salmon. But I have to tell you, Dr. Mike, it's misleading when you start talking about CoQ10 in foods because it's really not that absorbable. It's not really bioavailable from the food.
Yeah, good point. So not only do the food sources, they don't have a lot of it, it's not really in the right form for your body to utilize it, right?
Right.
And in order for your body to utilize it, it has to go through many steps of processing and metabolism. And by the time you get to the end of it, you have hardly any of it.
Right, exactly.
So supplementation is really important. Okay, let's go to the next question. Let's throw that up there, guys. That's Robson and Hannah doing that for us. You can read that one.
How long does it take for CoQ10 to increase energy? Another interesting, because we just talked about if you're really low, you may kind of feel that initial surge from CoQ10. I know someone who switched from ubiquinone, which is
an older form.
Older form, the form you find in food, that converts into ubiquinol. So I know when they switched from ubiquinone to ubiquinol, they felt that surge of energy right away.
Yeah, but you'll get used to that.
Exactly.
Your level will build up. You'll get used to that. So and again, it goes back to this idea of like stimulant versus pure energy. Remember, we're calling CoQ10 the pure energy supplement. This is not caffeine. This is not a stimulant. So even if you don't feel anything from it, you still take it.
Well, it's the energy that helps you, when you wake up in the morning and you're starting your day and you just feel like, hey, I'm ready to take on the day.
Yeah,
it's that kind of energy.
You want the cup of coffee because you like coffee, not because you need the stimulant.
Right.
See, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. You should write that down.
But for some people, when it kind of levels off and you need an extra little boost or you like that kick, that's where B vitamins can come in.
And that's topic number 2, on to B vitamins. Very important. Basic type of vitamins, so important for energy. I think, when I think of B vitamins, and I think a lot of people would agree, they automatically, Dr. Crystal, think of B12, like B12 shots or something like that, right?
Right. They can give you some energy.
Yeah, that's fine.
They can't give you energy.
We're not isolating one B. We're really talking about a B complex.
Really, you shouldn't. When you look at the B vitamin family, their job as a whole is all about energy production. They help you to kind of release the energy from the foods that you eat. If you eat an apple, that apple is going to get digested by enzymes, it's going into the body, and those B vitamins kind of act as helpers for the enzymes. They do. Your enzymes will help to break things down, and then the B vitamins act as kind of like, we call them coenzymes, but they're needed for the enzymes to work to break down the food and release the nutrients.
So and you might be taking a multivitamin, which you should, and there's some B's in that. That's great, but when we're talking about energy for women like Dr. Crystal, probably an extra like standalone B complex is important.
I think it's important, and also with your B complex, you want to, if you want to be a superwoman, you want to, when you look at superheroes, there's a hierarchy of the superheroes.
Yes.
So we're not.
So if you want to move up that list,
you want to move up the list when you're looking at the superheroes. Then you want to focus in on activated B vitamins.
Yeah,
that's the next level for B vitamins.
That would give us an example.
Then, So for example, you have folate. B vitamin, the methylfolate
is the active form. Yeah. And I think you're seeing more companies manufacture with those active forms now. More and more research is showing this to be true. So look for those active form of B vitamins when you can. All right, now let's move on to the third and last topic here. And I think this is probably the most important. It has to do with energy for mental fatigue, because and tell me what you think about this. A lot of people, a lot of super women, even us guys, and you're not super, we don't do all that you do. Often it's not physical energy that, it's not the physical, don't make me laugh.
Okay.
It's not the physical energy that is the problem. Often the body wants to move, but it's here. I'm just like, I just don't have it to get going.
It's the mental fatigue, and that is something that women deal with, especially when we're getting older, when the hormones start to fluctuate, and now we're dealing with just the mental strain, the mental fatigue that we're foggy. We're just the clarity is not there, and that's all about trying to support energy, but at the brain level.
Yeah, I think also too, a lot of the anxiety that comes along with trying to do a lot of things, right? The kids, the laundry, the ironing. I keep going back to ironing. That's a struggle for me. It's not good. Work, traffic, home. Like you put all that together, there's a little anxiety.
Yes.
In that, anxiety, I think, zaps some of that mental energy as well. So we're going to talk about something that I find very interesting. It's mango leaf extract.
Yes, this is something, a nutrient. I have been following the research, Dr. Mike, and what I find most, fascinating, this is nerdy, Dr. Mike, is that the number of clinical studies, and it's quite, at least 6 clinical studies. And when we say clinical studies, this is research in humans to show mango leaf extract can be beneficial for helping to support mental clarity, but also it's a nice alternative to caffeine.
Yeah.
I often would get questions that of people that they don't like caffeine. Maybe they, are just trying to stay away from it. They get too jittery. They get the heart flutters and everything, and they're looking for something that can help. And we find the mango leaf extract can be helpful.
Now, there's a key compound. I'm going to go there.
Oh, goodness.
There's a key compound in mango leaf that, well, this is important because you want to make sure, mango leaf itself, you can take it, make a tea out of it, I'm sure. There's other you may not get the key compound out of that, though, right? Or enough of it. So what's that key compound, Dr.
So
Christo?
we're laughing because before the show, we went back and forth on how to pronounce this.
Okay.
Mangiferin.
That's a new...
Mangiferin.
You just changed it up.
Tomato. Mangiferin.
It's funny because we've gone over so many different ways. It's good. All right. Anyways, that's the key compound, right?
In the mango leaf.
In the mango leaf, that's giving you that boost up in mental energy. So when you're going to take a supplement of mango leaf extract, you want to see that that's been standardized a little bit to that key compound. Now we got a study, right?
Yes, we do. And we have a graphic to kind of show the study because it's a little complicated. It's my favorite type of study, the placebo-controlled crossover study, which means that each group acts as its own control.
Yeah.
And so you can see the groups there. There's group 1, mango leaf, group 2, caffeine, a good amount of caffeine.
That is 160, that's good.
Group 3, mango plus caffeine, and then group 4, nothing. And we find that the mango leaf extract, there was a 46.6%, almost 47% less fatigue at 90 minutes versus the baseline. And this improvement was better than the caffeine and better than the caffeine with the mango.
Yeah. And that's interesting that worked out that way. But, I think one of the things I want to talk about a little bit is, so basically almost a 47% improvement, right? Well, what does that mean to, for a person, right? Like, does that mean I'm doing more of the activity? I have more mental energy to handle all the different tasks? And the answer is yes. I mean, that's a big bump.
Check.
Yeah, that's a big bump up. Because people might see that, it's less than 50%. No, when you're talking about mental energy, 20% is a big bump, 30%.
I'll take 5.
Yeah, I mean, those are big increases. So mango leaf extract, who would have thought?
I know.
That looks great. So listen, how does it work? We're not going to get into the detail of it because it gets complicated, but we think it's helping with certain neurotransmitters, right?
Yes, specifically dopamine. We know dopamine is one of the excitatory neurotransmitters, and there's an enzyme system that kind of breaks down that dopamine, and what we're finding is that the mangiferin helps to prevent that breakdown of the dopamine.
That's okay. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. So fantastic information. Before we go, couple last little things here.
Yes.
If you are dealing with energy issues, right? Don't forget a good checkup from your doctor, your healthcare provider, like thyroid, right?
Anemia.
Maybe you have low red blood cells.
Maybe you're not sleeping. Maybe you have sleep apnea.
Yeah, all of these things should be looked at. Now, if everything is fine, then we just have to start thinking about building that pure energy from the inside out, and that's what the CoQ10 can help with, the B vitamins, and of course the mango leaf extract.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, we have a nice article that covers more of this at lifeextension.com. There you go. You can see it right there on your screen. Lifeextension.com/energy, where we go into much more of the research and the details of all of this. So lifeextension.com/energy. Dr. Crystal, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Dr. Mike.
So you're gonna go pick up the kids now.
Of course.
And then you got to get them to finish their homework.
Then there's
homework. Dinner.
Then there's dinner. Let's see. And there's a project that they want to do, something fun tonight.
Something fun. Go to bed.
Something fun.
Put them to bed. Right? All right. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share the shows. help us build our audience, and you can talk about this brand new, beautiful studio that we're coming live to you from. Again, thank you for joining us today. We go live every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, so don't forget to show up and let your friends know. Again, Dr. Crystal, thank you. I'm Dr. Mike. Thanks for watching.